New census data just came out about Northwest Arkansas, and today we're covering some of the largest growth cities in the area, and I can guarantee you it is not the ones you're thinking of right now. So, let's talk about that. Hey everybody, if you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. If you weren't aware, I actually was a real estate broker located in the dumpster fire, the horrible, no good, terrible, state of Illinois, also known as Chicago. The worst. Anyways, I could have moved anywhere I wanted to in America, but I chose right here in Northwest Arkansas. I went to Tennessee, Utah, Colorado, parts of Texas, Florida. Woo. Anyways, I went to a lot of different places and I chose Northwest Arkansas. So if you ever want to talk about why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America, call me, text me, let's meet up for coffee when you're in town. We can talk about all those different reasons. So without further ado, let's jump right into the content. All right, and the first city we need to talk about with the biggest growth in the area, not only the area, but the whole state, was Tonitown. Now, the funny thing is that Tonitown is a adjacent city next to Springdale on 412. So when I first moved here, it was kind of an unknown area. It wasn't like a lot of housing going on there. But in the last probably 2 to 3 years, housing has done so well there. And so a couple different factors. The first factor is that there is the eventual 612 connection. This is kind of getting more detailed, but this is all part of the process. Basically, long story short, there's going to be another highway being attached through Tonitown that's going to give easier access to parts of Northwest Arkansas. So currently at the moment, if you live in Tonitown, if you kind of go down to 412, shoot over, then back up to 49, that whole intersection right there is a little bit dicey, to say the least, when it comes to like a lot of traffic, because it's used going to Tulsa a lot and going back up to Missouri, so 49 to 412. Anyways, if you don't understand the area, I completely understand, just numbers to you, but the whole Tonitown area is going to do very well in the next couple of years because of that future growth with that brand new highway coming through there. The highway's number 612. I'll put some links below just talking about the future growth of 612 into the whole area. But regardless, Tonitown is the fastest growing town in all of Arkansas. Now it's based on percentages, so it did like grow by like almost 13% of a couple, like over like 2,000 people. Doesn't sound like a lot, it's not a huge amount of growth, but going from that to that is a big growth for an area in Arkansas. The future cities we're talking about in a second are gonna be bigger growth cities, but Tonitown really hit the map because not only is it growing in a sense of housing, but there's new community stuff coming up on there. It's going to have its eventual future town center. Obviously, that's going to be baked into the cake, of course, but it's becoming its own city. Tonitown's never really been its own city, and it's actually becoming that currently. So good for Tonitown. Very cool to add another city to the whole area, but Tonitown is its fastest and biggest growing city since 2020 to current date. So yay to Tonitown. And the second city that saw the largest growth in the last 4 years in Northwest Arkansas has been Centerton. That was a more obvious play because Centerton's growing exponentially in the last, like I said, 4 years. So the census data came out in Centerton number 2, around a little over 11% growth. The thing that makes Centerton interesting is a couple of factors. The fact is that it's close to Bentonville, so it definitely leeches off Bentonville quite a bit, leeches off the school system, it leeches off, that's a terrible word for that, but we'll say uses with great respect to the school system and a lot of the amenities of Bentonville. But a little sidebar, Centerton has been pushing and voting and working on its own community centers and other stuff like that. So Centerton is becoming its own independent city. It will ever not become part of Bentonville School District? No, it'll always be part of Bentonville School District, that's for sure. Literally, Bentonville School District builds schools instead of Centerton, so that's solid forever. But regardless, Centerton is working on its own stuff. It's working on its own infrastructure, its own roads. The thing that's been kind of a hindrance for Centerton the last year, like literally the last like 365 days, has been more the infrastructure, not only when it comes to the roads, but more a sense of like the sewer and power and stuff of that, your kind of basic building blocks of a city have kind of slowed down the process. In one of my last previous videos, I talked about the decline of Centerton, which has been true. So Centerton would be a much different, probably number 1, honestly, if it kept up the pace, but it has slowed down the last year or so just due to that. Things have changed over there politically when it comes to like, it has some new township people, it has some new blood when it comes to in the actual city council area. So that's changed a couple times over, so it's gotten better. But regardless, Centerton is still on the docket for being, I call it like the gateway to the west, meaning like as Northwest Arkansas grows to the west, it has to go through Centerton and through Bentonville through Centerton. So that's just going to happen regardless. And so Centerton has to pick up the pace a little bit when it comes to those things. But regardless, Centerton is a up and coming area, has done well for itself. It's increased a lot of different homes there, and now what they really need to do is increase the infrastructure as well as just add more things to do in Centerton, not just be a subsidiary of Bentonville. So they're working on it, but still, it is currently at the moment. Whoa, 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 whoa. before we jump on to the next point, I made something for you. I made something called 3-day itineraries. So maybe you're looking to come down here, check out vacation here, or potentially move here. I made something called 3-day itineraries. So maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is, there are 3-day itineraries linked down below for you. So you go ahead and download them and literally use them when you get down here. It kind of goes you day by day, step by step, city by city of all the interesting, cool, fun things to do when you're in town in Northwest Arkansas. I also made something called instant home updates. So maybe you're looking to move to the area and using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or Redfin. Way too slow. Notifications, way too slow. That's why I made something called instant home updates. Sounds exactly what it is, literally instant home updates. To enter information below, name, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, where do you want to move to Northwest Arkansas? Let me know all the information below. I'll make sure to miss a single notification when it comes for homes for sale or for rent, all in the whole area. Also, every single Friday I send an email out just kind of talk about all the cool things happening in Northwest Arkansas. Maybe you want to know what's going on in downtown Bentonville. Maybe you want to know what's going on in downtown Fayetteville. What is going on in downtown Rogers? What is going on in the amphitheater? What new business are moving here? What is going on with all the theater, the art, the culture, all the cool things happen in Northwest Arkansas? I send that email out every single Friday. But just a little bit of heads up, just a little bit of forewarning, a little bit of something to be aware of. You will get a little fear of missing out, little FOMO, so to speak, but I promise you will be the most informed person eventually when you make it down to Northwest Arkansas. And the third city with the highest growth in Northwest Arkansas is Highfill. Highfill comes in at like 10.6%. Now, if you don't know where Highfill is, you're probably thinking like, Highfill? No, huh? Highfill is actually next door to XNA. So the airport here is XNA. Next door to that, like literally the city next to XNA is Highfill. There's a bit of a drama there. I'll kind of share a little bit of details, but XNA is trying to annex itself from Highfill because they give Highfill like multi-millions of dollars per year to be part of the city. So there's a whole drama going on there when it comes to Highfill's only like 1,000 or 2,000, like 2,000 people, and so there's some drama there. I'm sure XNA they'll figure it out because they want to annex themselves and not have to give millions of dollars to a city that doesn't really do much. Now I could be speaking out of turn there, I don't know, but I can understand when someone gives, like when a business XNA gives a small city of 2,000 people millions of dollars a year for taxes, it kind of changed the thing a little bit. Anyways, long story short, Highfill's next door, and it's grown quite a bit the last couple years, mostly due to the fact that D.R. Horton has been building in here. D.R. Horton's the biggest home builder in America, and they actually have quite a few different subdivisions that they're building up in the last like 2 years or so. And so those homes have come to fruition, they've been built out, they've been sold, and so that has been a big push for Highfill, is just those new subdivisions in the whole like west part of Northwest Arkansas. The thing about Highfill is that it's a little bit out there. It's a little bit of a drive to get to anything I would consider noteworthy. So if you do end up in Highfill, just know it's about a 25-minute drive to, it's probably better for you to go to Salem Springs for sure, which is on almost at the border of Oklahoma, versus coming into Bentonville or even Tonitown, Springdale, or even Fayetteville. So you're kind of out there a little bit. So good for an airport. Not always the greatest for a community, but Highfill definitely grew in the last 4 years. And the fourth city to see the biggest growth in Northwest Arkansas in the last 4 years by census data has been one of my favorite cities, Pea Ridge. Now, if you are familiar with the channel, I'm a big fan of Pea Ridge. A couple of different factors. The first factor, and probably the main factor, is its proximity to Bentonville. And I don't mean like Centerton to Bentonville, because that's very close, they're literally next to each other. But the fact that the distance from Pea Ridge to downtown Bentonville is about 10 minutes, and then you just drive one road into downtown, plus you're on the other side of 49, which brings you so close to Walmart HQ. It is pretty fantastic. Now, Pea Ridge has definitely grown a lot, like almost 10.5%, a little bit more than Highfill, but it has done so well for itself. In a sense, like it's drawn so many more businesses there. It's had so many more subdivisions. The school system's really robust there. Brand new high school. The thing that sets Pea Ridge up for success, and I watched a huge podcast with the mayor of Pea Ridge, is that they saw the future. Like obviously they paid for time travel evidently or something, and they really built out the infrastructure for growth. Whereas other cities in Northwest Arkansas, to remain nameless, have struggled with that. So Pea Ridge saw the future. They said, we're going to build out our sewer system. We're going to take a bond out. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to build a better high school. We're preparing for growth. We're going to build out, like I said, a better sewer system. We're going to build out a better electrical system. We're going to build out water. The whole kit and caboodle is going to be built out ready for growth. So when growth came knocking, it's like, sure, no problem. And so it allows them for leverage to allow builders to come in here and do what they do best and build affordable homes to grow the area, allowed and encourage new businesses to come here. You know, back when I first moved here, oh my gosh, and I am not by any means a native here. I've been here 4 years, but even when I first moved here over in Pea Ridge, it was literally nothing. It was like, I think a Walmart, there was just a Walmart our neighborhood Walmart that was brand new, but there was nothing else there. Now, it sounds stupid, but there's a Wendy's, there's this, there's a tire shop there. I mean, mean, it sounds silly, but you have to convince businesses that this is an economical, valuable position to build itself in. And so you have a huge long line of new businesses that are coming here. Plus, it's just beginning. And so when you start this whole, like I said, cyclical economic wheel, you can allow as businesses come, more people come, it becomes its own city, obviously, which it has been for a while, but then you can encourage more businesses to come here. So regardless, big fan of Pea Ridge. When you're looking to move here, definitely look at Pea Ridge, big fan. And the fifth and final fastest growing city in Northwest Arkansas based on census data, and I regret to say this, is Prairie Grove. Now, the reason I say regret is because Prairie Grove is a very, very special city. One time, I think it was last year, I'm sure I'll be doing it this year, is that every year they have a square dancing competition with kids. And you're thinking like, what kids would participate in that? That sounds so 1800s, and it's like going back in time. I cannot tell you enough how wild and cool to see the whole city. Like, I would say over 1,000, I would probably say like 1,000 or 2,000 people show up with kids practicing all year long. We're talking all the way from kindergarten to high school, everything in between, to be in like this huge gully, trees everywhere. So it is such a flashback in time, and they all perform square dancing. It sounds so almost unrealistic in person, but you have to see it to believe it. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It is literally going back in time, and the whole city is going back in time. Some of the cutest shops you'll see they have a true downtown section. The reason I say regret again is like, it is hard because a lot of development has happened there, and it will continue to develop, and I'm sure that they're doing I would consider a decent job of controlling growth, but at the same time, Prairie Grove is growing, and hopefully they continue the traditions of what they've done for the past and integrate everyone and make everyone square down and dance, essentially what I'm saying. But regardless, that's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but regardless, Prairie Grove is growing. It's home to a Civil War battlefield that's kind of protected area, of course. So there's a lot of things going on in Prairie Grove when it comes to that older style, slower pace of living that people truly love. Growth is happening there. They're doing very well for themselves, but it is the fifth growing fastest city in Northwest Arkansas. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you haven't been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. Sounds exactly what it is. Literally, starter pack full of all the cool things in Northwest Arkansas. It comes with a 100-page guide, city by city, population, schools, hospitals, all the things you care about in Northwest Arkansas, put in one 100-page document. Literally, it's a full packet, shipped right to your home. Plus, it comes with my itineraries. Plus, it comes with stickers. It comes with a whole bunch of cool things happening in Northwest Arkansas, things you can put on the back of your car, the whole thing. Comes with your first free coloring book. Haha, brand new. So all the cool things happening in Northwest Arkansas, package shipped right to your home. Right to your home. Also, just a little heads up, a little bit of forewarning, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. It's my favorite fuller F word. Free! So enter your information below. Make sure they get the package shipped to you right away. Also, when you come down here, I can give you the $10 tour so I can kind of show around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some home for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar would go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, this is the next one.